schoolmates, another great episode, another great conversation. Mnajua bana, kazi yetu ni kufanya nini? Kuwapa chai na deep dive. So enjoy this one too. Let's start with politics. Mnajua you guys really want us to talk about the politics. And let's start with ODM. And the good part is that we have someone who has been in ODM. Amejua the ins and outs. Alioshwa hata kidogo. Mlipata hiyo pesa?
Eventually tulilipwa. And I was actually in Jubilee. I was not in ODM. But we were very much aligned, and we were handed over to the ODM side of things in terms of campaigns and in terms of just managing the ground activation and ensuring that people are making it to the polling station and just seriously campaigning for Baba. It was my first time interacting with that man. And please note, I was coming from a history of generational, passed down hate about Baba. But coming from a place where party loyalty is very respected, when Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, my then party leader, because I've left Jubilee, sahi niko partyless. Sijaamua naingia wapi. He came and told us, Baba is the candidate and we have to comply. That for me was just it. I didn't need any other convincing. So the next thing for me was interacting with the man himself. The first time I met Baba, first, he's a very charming and funny man. So, sasa, jina yako ni nani? Nikamwambia Zuena. Wewe ni Mswahili. Nikamwambia mimi ni Mkikuyu. Zuena Mkikuyu wapi?
Actually miss that guy.
That's who he was.
Just that reason too.
And I remember he asked me, why are you supporting my presidency? And I told him, sir, I'm supporting your presidency because Uhuru has told me to support your presidency. But I need you to convince me why I should support your presidency. And I remember he asked me, you look like you're a young girl. Yeah? How old are you? I told him my age. Siwambi. But nilisema age yangu then. Akanambia, if you're in politics, then it means you don't yet have opportunities to make money as you should as a young person. I tell him, yes, that's why I'm in politics, to try and find my footing. So he tells me, the kind of country I envision is for young people like you not to be in spaces where they have to struggle and fight to make a living for themselves and their family. Getting a job should be as easy as umetoka campus, umeenda umeapply kwa kazi umepata. Yeah. And he asked me, why, if you're Kikuyu, then you must have heard things about me. What have you heard? So I told him, and he told me, do you think we would be sitting here and talking? Would be sitting here and talking this comfortably if I'm that kind of a person? I tell him, no. Then he told me, then your biggest task, Abigail, is to go and remind people we need to stop looking at people along tribal lines. It never hit me how tribal I was until he called me out for it. And he fished it out, crushed it, and drew it out. So I feel Baba on a personal level taught me that, how to not be tribal. Yeah. Because it also meant now me going out and telling people, and I met it. So niko na watu ni Baba, ambe hapana. Kwanza the generation after the boomers. Yes. Like even my own parents were like, hapana, kuna kitu kama hiyo, tuliambiwa na Kibaki niko, ma'am. And when even I was describing it to them, I realized just how deeply rooted that hate had, been. And it made me very sad that I was also part of it now that I have. And I was like, Baba can't sit with everyone. So we had to do it as his foot soldiers. We had to try and just get that hate out of people. And we did. We really tried, especially because we are dealing with a crowd that hiyo kitu ilikuwa entrenched to them since Kibaki's time. So unajua mtu akona ile ya Kibaki, alafu akona ile ya Uhuru ya kwanza ya ICC. Because nakumbuka Ruto na Uhuru wa campaign against Baba the first time in 2017, they were saying huyu ndio ametupeleka ICC. So the hate ilikuwa deep. But I'm happy that we were able to be part of that campaign. Me and many other young people that were exposed to Baba and who he was, and his love for this country, his loyalty for this country, the patriotism that he had. And that is what took us all the way to tukafika sasa mahali pa agents.
Na unafanya jenzi baada na kuangalia. Ni kama kuna mtu anataka kuuliza. Let me just ask on her behalf.
Yes.
Ni kama anataka kuuliza, how did you get to this point where you are meeting Uhuru and Baba?
Yeah.
As in you as a young girl kama yeye right now.
Yeah.
How do you come from there? Of course you're enthusiastic about politics.
Yes.
You are involved. How do you get to the point where you're sitting on the table as a young girl? Who's,
at such a level.
I know so many of them are watching us right now. How did you get there?
I started my politics in campus, JKUAT Nakuru campus. I know if most of them will watch this will remember. And just getting involved at that level. And then it was the time devolution was coming. We were having our first governor in Nakuru, Kinudhi Ambogwa. when they were coming to campuses to ask and talk to us about his manifesto, I would ask questions. So I was intentional in participating. So you must want this. You must want to participate and care about your country enough to understand that if you do not participate in the political processes, you cannot be at the table. So by being vocal, I was picked out and I was told, are you willing to nini? And I was like, if I'm coming, I want to deal with youths. I want to help formulate policies around young people in the county of Nakuru. Please know devolution was new then. So we were also trying to figure it out. Yeah. So when he entered power, he was able to put us in very many spaces. So you'd be put as a youth advisory. You were able to sit and advise the then county government on. So from there, based on how you deliver, and this is what I say about a young person, if you're given a chance, deliver. Deliver fully because somebody will see it. Yeah. And you'll face a lot of utapigo vita sana. Because I was dealing with people and they're like, I don't have, I was nothing. I mean, I would even have to go and buy clothes to enter those offices. And nanunua nguo ya 5 so, na hiyo ni top na trouser. Na tu viatu tu adult shoes to me beat. But I show up in that office. I'm sitting with the governor.
Big lesson, guys.
Yes, show up with what you have. You must show up. And as long as you have something between your ears, it doesn't matter how you look. The whole table will listen to you. I remember I'd enter there and I'll be the only one telling governor with data. We have 55 wards in Nakuru County. In every ward, there are this number of young people, and this is what they're asking for. What wanataka jobs? So we need to figure it out. We may talk all this English, Your Excellency, but if you don't address the issue of youth and unemployment, how Rudy, and true to the word, he didn't come back as a governor. But when it mattered, I spoke out and I spoke the truth. Yeah. That transcended to even when Lee Kenyanjui took over the governorship, and I was amongst the people that were fighting him because I was campaigning for my then governor, Kinodhi Ambogwa. Yeah. Because of how I articulate issues and I hold leaders accountable, people will call you. Even when in opposition, you'll be called. So after Lee hata ameingia amefanya term yake for a while na anataka kurudi re-election, I'm amongst the first people aliita, what do you think I should do? Because also there's consistency in the messaging and there's consistency in the service that you're offering. Consistency. So you can't hoa. Now you are cold, now you are cold. Stick to the plan and the vision you have and what you're bringing on the table. So that always sending myself and showing up and being set apart as somebody speaking sense. I'd receive calls and I'm told, come attend this, and then now, even now when Baba was looking for people to campaign for him on a Nakuru font, and they were looking at young people, my name was being mentioned. They're like, we need Zuena on this table. Like, Baba is coming to Nakuru, where is the memorandum? Yeah. And the young people are the one, Abi tutengeneze memorandum. I remember making it on my way to Nakuru because I was living in Nairobi then. Got there, received Baba, nikapanga young people, got them from different tribes. Mama said she doesn't know ngapi. Niko na laptop hapo. She doesn't know gani. So they have to talk to me in their language, and then I conceptualize it in English. And Baba was this guy. After tumempea memorandum, very fast, linked me to ini namba ya Sifuna mpigie sahi. Ini memorandum nimereceive but nitumie soft copy. And anytime I'd meet him again, even with Mother Karua, because then I moved to Mother Karua and helping her campaign, especially in Mount Kenya, and galvanizing young women. Anytime I'd meet Baba, he'd be like, Zuena, kijana wa Nakuru. He had a very good memory. Munaendelea aje? Are people treating you well? Even when they were not treating as well, I'm like, I'm not going to burden him. I'm like, yes, we'll figure it out. We are okay. So we are here, you're seeing us. So it's also just aligning with the right people that resonate with your values and always being seen and showing up. Even when you have nothing. Show up and offer your brains and your words. Yes.
And that's really important because now ume-sensitize, ume-emphasize sana, not sensitize, emphasize sana on the brain part.
Yeah.
Because there's a question that I know the viewer is asking himself. What favor did she have to give to get kwa hizo positions?
Yeah.
Because that's a notion out there, right? And I think it's really good for you to talk to that person out there.
Yeah.
First of all, did you have to give any favors?
No. I think for me, it's very amazing because when you have a passion for your country and when you love your country, I think God sees us, because God sees that and amplifies it and puts you in tables. And then what you do with that chance, you can't chicken out. You have to be bold. You need to really dig deep and find the strength to speak out. And they'll try to shut you up. They'll be like, unajua kuna kitu nasema, if you need to bang that table, bang it and say, no, I'm not done. I was talking. Then finish your point with clarity, with the boldness it deserves. Yeah. That alone, one of the people there will say, I need to see that girl separately. So unajipata sasa unaambia, and then what can we do So when they start asking you, what do you think we should do? Umefika?
Mambo yako iko sawa.
It means they cannot move
Without you.
And then now how you maximize on that? And always negotiate.
Yeah.
I think young people don't know how to ask for what they need. I remember a friend of mine keeps saying, "Abi unapenda pesa sana." And I'm like, how else do you feed yourself even when you're fighting for this country? You should never feel bad for asking
for money.
Yes. And I'd be like, mimi munirinimirate hivi.
Ni kama mimi watu nikipost ad TikTok wanashindaga wananiambia unapost ad nini?
But I also expect you to make otherwise you cannot be this freedom fighter that has not even fought for themselves. So you must feed yourself so that you have even the strength to feed others. And I feel young people, we've been demonized for it, and it's quite unfair. Because even these old dogs in politics, that's what they do. Wawenangi huko na shareholding wanajigawana kwanza before wakuje kwetu. I mean, let's be honest. That's what they do.
Alafu kasha kwa kituambia story ya shares wanajam.
Wanajam. Na juzi Oburu anaongea maneno ya shares.
You know, we're like barely 10 minutes into the episode and naona jenzi yako inspired na kunywa maji.
Ni brains. Ni brains sasa. Ninatoa the emotional part hapa na leta the logical part because I have to bang
before nitoka hapo kuna swali nataka kuuliza Abi.
Guy. And inspire too.
And also another thing I forgot, never burn the bridges of people who lifted you up. Even if eventually you differ. Like Kenothi Mbogwa gave me a platform. Lee Kenyanjui gave me a platform. Naisula Lesuda gave me a platform. Babu Owino continues to give me a platform. These are people, regardless
of what happens. Even this Gathoni wa Mushomba worked with her on a program for health for women. Yes.
It's called Stop Obstetric Violence for Women. Even if she's going through what she's going now, I can never wake up and use a platform to hit on her. Because these are people who saw me when nobody would see me, and now I'm here. Why would I do that? Even if wako hiyo side, na mimi niko hii side, ni sawa.
No problem. Ile saying ya Sifuna, usidharau
sponsor alikutoa kwa bed sitter.
Ukipata sponsor mpya, usisahau.
Those are the people that will come through for you. Sahi nikishikwa worst case nani nikishikwa. Me I can tell you who will come to that polling station.
Kwanza kuna swali aliuliza Sifuna tamu sana. Alisema ati nini kiingia kwa nyumba yako? Sijui muizi akiingia kwa zizi yako.
Ukishafungulia fisi imeingia ndani ya zizi la ng'ombe ama kondoo yako. Utaambia hiyo fisi ati uanze na hii kondoo usianze na hii. Si inavieka yote.
You guys know that saying. Anyway, 10 minutes into the podcast, about 15 minutes, but 3 key insights. Consistency. Show up.
Yes.
Brains.
Have something to offer.
Have something to offer.
And mafurumbanya.
Haiwezi kuwa mafurumbanya tu juani. Side eye. Sasa tuketumia hiyo
jina. Tumeitishwa mafurumbanya na mtu.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, please. Hii session ilikuwa nasema tupige. Let's introduce show tena. Oh my goodness, but have something to, as a young person, just have something to, not remember something between your ears, not between your legs.
True.
Between your
yes.
Tafadhalini. Usini watu tumesoma. Kuna watu wananikasirisha. Mimi kuna comments zingine naona mpaka najibu mtu namwambia, wewe hata Kibaki akiwa kwa kaburi amegeuka. Free education alikupea ikusaidi. Yani we are product of free education, guys. Na mtu hapana, let's be serious.
And talk about free education, by the way. One of the things imefanyika hii wiki before tuongele story ya ODM ni Ruto. Jana amekuwa pale Meru. Si ndio jina.
Ni Ruto.
Ama
hivyo anaitwa hivyo.
Ndio amezoea kumuita majina mengine.
Ama muite principal.
Muite principal.
Amekuwa pale Meru. Na akasema any principal ama any school head ambaye atakataa watoto wasiingie shule kwa sababu ya school fees ama uniform, huyo school head anafaa kuchukuliwa disciplinary action. Anasema all kids should be allowed to be admitted ama should be admitted regardless of whether wako na uniform ama wako na school fees. On the surface ina sound kitu fiti sana. But now the rubber meets the road ikikuja kwa implementation. Because personally I'm really active kwa stories and news and kila siku either DM ama wapi lazima mtu aniambie news guy niko na mtoto wa form 2 news guy kuna issue ile tumeenda tumefukuzwa tumefanyiwa nini. Just from a general assessment, what's the situation on the ground?
I think kwanza I'll start by saying my dad was a former teacher. And I saw what he went through trying to accommodate students that didn't have school fees. And what made him be able to just, as a head teacher, and he'd say, later Mahindi Maragwe, we're able to accommodate this, is because there was very, set out structures and system to support schools. It would be very unfair to say, get these children to schools, and these schools don't have money to sustain them.
Yeah, that's true.
And so there is no support system for these headmasters to accommodate these
kama
schools.
wanafunzi wengine.
Yes, it's so bad that we are getting to a point where before this year, the president said, capitation will be sent. So you don't send capitation fund, you don't empower, teachers and systems inside schools to accommodate these kids, and then you wake up and tell them, tukeni na muende shule. Waende shule wapi? Kufanya nini? Watapata nani? Watafunzwa na nani?
Watakula
nini? Vitabu watatumia gani? If you know, this year alone, parents were crying because of the cost of textbooks,
uniform.
Kitambo ulikuwa unaenda shule, kuna textbooks ulikuwa unaenda tunakuandikia. I feel education and health are two things that this government has failed on. And like you're saying, DMs. Even you, I know you receive DMs. Please nichangie kidogo mtoto wangu. Nimebakisha. Sahi, hata parents wana survive na grace ya resource mobilization. You borrow here to ensure your child is going to school, which is very, very sad. And I feel the president is politicizing this because he just wants to remove a blanket statement and sort of just make it look like it's the schools refusing to take the kids. Which is the complete force.
Jenzibeli, what's the most painful case umeona kwa history yote? Is there like a case imetouch heart yako? Because I've seen
I'm a teacher by profession.
By the way.
So I see these things firsthand. Like I'm there, I see them.
How was last year for you?
Third term, let's talk about third term. Hii term imepita. That term we didn't have capitation. The schools survived a whole term without capitation. Pesa iliingia.
Anyway,
pesa iliingia the last week. Unajua iliingia pesa ngapi? My school, I'll talk about the school. The school I was. Tulipatio 20,000 by the government.
20,000 per student.
20,000 the school ilipatio 20,000. Even though the teacher alituambia we were given 20,000. Ujue you 20,000 news guy, you pay the non-teaching staff. That school we didn't even have a BOM teacher. We couldn't afford one. We couldn't. So the workload, kwanza kwa mwalimu mwenyako, the workload, we were teaching almost 40 lessons a week.
Ayo.
You mean 20K?
Because
so ukidivide na student
kwa shule alipu 20 Gs.
Ujue kuna cook, kuna secretary, kuna gate person, kuna wochi, kuna mwenye alikuwa anaosha choo za walimu afieke, kunao. We had like 4 people. Juza hiyo shule hata ina do. So hao ndio na teaching staff wenye tulikuwa. Cook ni mmoja, tulikuwa na cook mmoja. Wao ndio anapikia wanafunzi. Cook mmoja. Hao watu wanne wanafaa wakuwe accommodated kwa hii 20,000. Na unajua ni per month. That term has 3 months. Ukaunt hivyo. Ni per month.
Pia watoto school fees.
Na bado irudi ingie bado kwa capitation ya mwanafunzi. Hiyo ndio inafaa sponsor mwanafunzi sports. Shule yetu hatukuwa tuna participate games by the way.
Kuna do.
Unaenda kulipa, unalipia mtoto na nini na teams must pay. Yes. Kuna kuanga na pesa yenye a team pays ku participate. Hamwezi participate music. Hamna hiyo pesa ya kupeleka hao watoto. Unaona? Unanyima huo mtoto the basic need ya co-curricular activities that are included in the curriculum. Kwetu tulikuwa everything you read ni theory. Ojo kuna topic, kuna syllabus neto creative arts. You have to do these things practically. Swimming, yes. You have to do. Mna swim happy. Watoto wanalipa 40 bob ya lunch, they can't afford the 40 shillings. Ilikuwa inabidi wewe as a teacher, mimi nilikuwa naenda hiyo shule na thermos ya chai, water bottle na dish ya chakula. Unabidi you have to share with a student now kwa sababu hana hiyo 40 bob. Na tukisema one time unaniuliza nasema one time kwa nini wewe?
Because hebu angalia what people are saying about
it. Because I'm sure the reactions are very bad.
And also the saddest thing
people are saying drain the swamp.
Having 800,000 students at home unable to go to school, grade 10 students because of lack of funds.
800 Gs.
800,000.
And then
these are not just ball figures.
Wameshuka around 400.
400.
But how bado ni
wengi sana.
Thank you.
And so then what the government is communicating is education is not important and we don't care about educating you guys because the moment you get too educated, you question us. That's the basic analysis.
And another thing, you can't come today utuambie the government can't give free education because of this and that. Na tulikuwa tunapewa free education. Mimi nataka kujua, should we progress ama tunaenda umetuambia hivyo leo, kesho unakuja na tuambia watoto waende shule kama hawajalipa shule inafai survive aje. How it's so sad.
And regarding all this and this free education thing, I've always had an idea, and I just want your takes about this. I've always thought the biggest shida ilikuja kwa hii country kwa history education is stories of bursary. Bursary at county level. Bursary at the MP level.
At the MCA level.
Bursary at the president.
At the president.
Imagine.
So, miujiuliza ido yote. Because for me, the only thing bursary zufanya bado leaders waendelee kuka kama demigods. Ndio wakirudi to their home constituencies. Si hata kubonda. Some of them give them, but ndio mzazi apate lazima
comply na align na huyo leader.
Exactly. And so my question is, what is so hard about consolidating all these funds? And you can also talk about this one when you've joined us live as we record this. What is so hard about consolidating all these funds? Najua MPs watasema ni sisi tunajenganga madarasa. I'm coming to that. Consolidate all these funds to deal na capitation kwanza, school fees. About infrastructure, can't the government develop a framework, a standard framework? Kwa seme kujenga class moja Northeastern ni bei. Regardless, not wanaweza review pa mwaka waseme inflation tunaiadjust to this. And so as government, bado ni sisi tuta contract and we prioritize to seme we will build 100 classes in Northeastern, 100 classes ama 10 classes per county per year. What is so hard about that?
I think, and I support that, and this is something that Baba believed in. If you remember, he even used to say CDF is unconstitutional.
I remember.
And he used to tag it to the expense of education, to the common mwananchi. Baba used to say every time he'd get that microphone and the issue of NGCDF used to come up, he'd say, hizi pesa zote mnapeana za basari, we need to take all this money then from MPs, because the work of the MPs is not to handle these funds. The work of the MP is to oversight the executive and pass laws that favor the common mwananchi. So hizi pesa za NGCDF zirudishwe national government, education ikwe bure. He always used to say that, and this was one of his core things that he always used to conflict even with his own members of parliament. And this agenda of having bursaries being given by every other level of leadership is what has crippled the education system. Dindinyoro juzi alituambia we only need 30 billion to make secondary school completely free.
Imagine.
Hata akasema MP si mchukue 33% pay cut from NGCDF. Out of 100 tutoe tu 33% kwa every MP. Tufanye tu education ikwe bure. Of course you will not hear MPs talking about that. They can't endorse it. They want that money so that they can make us their slaves. But we need to have a conversation
about story ya bursary.
Hii bursary lazima iishe. Ishe yote kabisa, yete kukua a whole political tool by this leaders.
Because it continues to perpetuate the handout culture. Inafeel ni kama utanipigia kura.
Shika. Hata uko kwa list hata ya bursary.
Kwanza inapea ukienda sasa mashinani kabisa itapewa sasa, unaona venye huwa tunasema they how do I wanazawadi the loyal people. Like ulinisaidia ku campaign. Utapewa baka na mtoto wenyu mwenye kwa ushago, mtoto wa huyo mtoto kama ako na mtoto.
And you know there's a county in Kenya, I'm not going to, it's in the coast region, where kulikuwa kushaanza kuwa na conversation. I don't know if they implemented it, that bursaries are university. And even for the parents, you have to show your voter's card.
See a parent. Hata mimi nikiwa university. Nikiwa university. Unaonyeshana yako.
Wewe ni mpiga kura wa huko.
Wa huko.
You know the issue is, I would understand why they want to bring it like that. What these politicians do, like for example, me, maybe I know a member of parliament like Wamushomba. Let me use Isula. Sasa Wamushomba pendwi. Yeye ni wa Samburu West. Mimi niko Nairobi, nimwambia akini nimekwama because I'm her friend, she will find a way to give me that. But what will that do? It will deny the people that should be. Yes, so that's why people push that. Even I remember in our constituency, Gilgil, a member of parliament, Mother Wangari, people are saying that. They were like, tunakuona hii list na to verify watoto wametoka. So that the beneficiaries should be the kids of the people that live there. Usianze kupatia marafiki zako from all over and it's not benefit, because most leaders also do that. That's why you'd hear people say wacha tuhakikishe hizi pesa juni zetu za NCDF yetu wacha zi benefit watu wa huku.
I think that's
especially
really
for MP.
That's a really interesting point of divergence, and I want to know the viewers think about it. Akapo kwa comments. Story ya kuitishwa voters card ndio pewe bursary. Because me, from where I sit, I feel like bado hiyo tu ni going to make the politician demigod, but you've explained it in my insights, because hata mimi najua mtu washaipata bursary ni mtu wa pahali lakini alipata bursary ya Nyanza but mtu wa Nairobi. So well,
and with that I feel that was usually the conversation around that, but again as you're saying, bursary yote itolewe. We make education free at all levels.
And it's still on education. Kitu kingine mehappen hii wiki, and I think ni conversation mehappen na tujaiongelea in any episode. Tumalizana na ndio tungekuwa siasa. Story ya Rigiji. Story ya Rigiji.
Watu wasome kwao.
Yeye akisema hivyo nijua anasema anataka kufungua watu wengine macho. Wajue hata nyinyi pia mnaweza kuwa na Alliance High School yenu na Mangu High School yenu. And there's an interesting school. There's a guy anaitwa Galmadido on TikTok.
Yes.
He was talking about the state of Garbatula High School.
Imagine it was a
intensively.
very good national school.
I didn't even know until he explained it, and I was like, yo.
And so I just want to get your initial reactions first about his sentiments. Do you guys think alienda overboard?
Kwanza hakusema watu wasome kwao, sisi ndio tulisema hivyo. Whatever Gachagua said, yeye alisema shule ifai kukua in a certain area and it's not benefiting the people of that area. That's what he said. But Kenyans being Kenyans, tukasema amesema watu wasome kwao.
Wow.
Na in fact hata angeisema hivyo. Kwa sababu watu wanafaa wasome kwao. Hapana, tusisugarcoat sasa, because finally people watu wanaona. And it's so good kwa sababu ukiscroll hivi utapatana na 2 or 3 northeastern Kenyans talking about holding their leaders accountable. Na wako like si hata nyinyi mnapatia hiyo 200 million yenyu mnapelekanga wapi? Ya Keharo tumeona inaweka kabro yenyu inafanya nini? So Gachagua is a conversation starter. He just nyinyi mkibiti hivi around the bush anakuja hapo katikati and a conversation is sparked. So watu someni kwenyu.
What did you think,
I felt it was a conversation that needed to happen, and especially when you are nearing an election, because it has made people now look at how much money does each member of parliament receive. What is the mandate and the work of a member of parliament, and especially in regards to education and institutions, educational institutions. And so it made us look at Northeastern at a closer eye. And we've always murmured about their leaders. I mean, there was a time it was flooding and they were releasing a press statement in Nairobi saying, kwetu kuna flood. Serikali kuu tupeeni pesa tuende.
Nata mehappen juzi, after Rigiji
wanaenda press conference Nairobi. Ati hatuishi Nairobi.
Hatuishi kama buko Nairobi.
Sende imagine hapi. Ni kama afuli semeaje. Mimi hata si defending Kajim. Mimi hata si yuko kwa studio ya Kajim unasema ni na unaona maji nasema what do you mean?
I feel ili disrupt watu, and it also went beyond Northeastern. You could see now Luo Nyanza young people saying, guy, at our leaders, like I was so shocked to see Millie Odhiambo, a whole member of parliament that I've respected for so long, saying that the reason she's not developed her constituency ni ati hajai kuatia wa budget. I hope you see this which camera that one. You can do better.
Personally, it's at this point that I credit my MP. Mimi kama kiongozi ni mzuri. My MP is called David Ochieng.
Good.
Ni the party leader wa MDG. The fact that yeye ni wakasongo
ako
affiliated to Kenya Kwanza.
Hiyo chama ni gani?
Inaitwa MDG. Movement for Development and Governance. I think that
which is good joining to a development when you nasema so it aligns.
You know, the Wajir governor alitisha press conference akaanza kuuliza which MP has ever built an KMTC, has ever built a TTC. Which governor? And I was like,
oh my God.
My MP was building these things in 2013.
Salasia has built a whole KMTC in his constituency. I know you have issues with Salasia, but
kuna mwingine alisimama tu Parliament TV na microphone ya Parliament yenye imewaka red. Anauliza speaker, speaker, which MP with the money we are given, with the CDF money, can build a school, put cabros, put enda Keharo. Tembea Keharo.
But now I want us to look at this for the broader picture. Na tuanze tuna education ya what role shule zinacheza. Unajua kwa sababu kuna watu pia wanasema Gachagua angeongea hivyo kwa sababu schools also play a really big role kwa story ya decentralization. Story ya kufanya mtu afunguke akili.
Yes.
Juu kuna story ya pia umezaliwa juu tunaongelea Kiharu. Umezaliwa Kiharu, ukasomea nasari Kiharu, sasa ni ECD.
Chako hizi funguka.
Primary Kiharu,
JS,
Kiharu, SS, Kiharu. Kungekuwa na university,
Kiharu. Woe.
And you look at it from this point then, pia hizi national schools ina play a role. The only thing, and I think Rigathi Gachagua alisema yenye ni right.
Yeah.
Kila mtu atumie pesa yake vizuri.
Yeah.
Na watu waitishe facilities in their area.
Na watu wa hold leaders wao accountable.
But I also agree with you on the part of it was a little bit dangerous for him to allude and sort of water down the idea of, people studying in different areas of the country, because it also opens up your head. And it would be the only thing that would kill tribalism. Kitoka Central uende usomee Rusinga. You'll see things. You'll humanize those people that are demonized to you during politics.
Yeah.
And so you are able to sort of just see them as humans as you are.
Na
that
sasa,
part.
Na ndio maana I'm saying Gachagua is a conversation starter. Because after your conversation you spark up, I saw a tweet by a Kalenjin man, to be very specific. Tweet ili make you, I guess 2011 or 2010, and the man was saying Kapsabet Boys is no longer serving the people of Kapsabet. Because normally Kapsabet Boys ilikuwa 70% Kalenjin, and then the 30% sasa wanatolewa from the country. Na so yeye alikuwa anasema the fact that sasa hii watu imekuwa mchanganyiko, it's been a national school, ichangiwe hata ito university juu isaidie watu wa Kapsabet.
But the big question is, what has that change done to it academic-wise? Kapsabet is one of the top performing schools.
Yes, it is.
Karibu schools in the
Yeah,
country.
but sasa point ni conversation ilistatiwa.
Yes.
2011 venye hiyo tweet ilifanywa watu hawakuongea. But sasa hivi venye Gachagua ameaddress, I will agree with you.
And I think the reason why we also have a generation that is tribeless and that we are learning from, like me as a millennial, I learn a lot from Gen Zs. Is because them, they don't understand tribe, because they were able to traverse different counties because of this education system that allows you to study where ideally you are not from. So them, they don't know this tribe thing, the tribal politics. They're like, when in Kenya, mi ni Mkenya, so ni wa Kenya, tunapendane to move. And I appreciate that.
In your class, kama mko 40, kwa 42 tribes, 40 are represented in that class.
Yes.
So makes
Interesting. Bado tu inasemekana two sides of the coin.
Yes,
because it's good. Lakini bado venye Gachagua alisema watu wajenge makwao. Because talking about kulikuwa na an interview alikuwa nayo jana.
Yes, alikuwa na interview
alikuwa nayo, and kuna journalists waliruka wakasema sio, he's not going to be open
at ethnic profiling, and we are like, you news guy, you are a journalist. Are you going to decide which kind of news to need because you don't like someone? You're like, mimi sipeani news yako.
Because even Saddam Hussein
unajua nimekalia
was given a platform.
Nakumbuka acha Kumbuka ile story ya Sheila alisema, I am not addressing what unaambia, but you are a journalist. But I said I am not addressing that issue.
Sheila represented
kama tukasema oi.
I could do it.
But anyway, bottom line, watu watumie pesa ya wananchi vizuri.
Hold your leaders accountable. Hold the people you decide to make popular accountable. Hold the person you decided to vote in accountable. It's not about anyone else. It's about who mtu mwenye ulipigia kura.
And I also feel the Somali community from Kenya need also to, and I'm happy that the young voices are coming out and calling out their leaders. But this thing where we also call out your leaders and you say we are profiling you has to stop. Because we can never hide bad leadership behind. Stop profiling us as a community. Your leaders are bad, we will call them out.
Exactly.
Hakuna kunaonewa hapa. Hii tuko Kenya yetu sisi wote.
Mimi ni Mkenya. Ningependa sana mtoto wangu asome Mandera.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Yes.
Ajue venye Mandera kunakaa. But by you looting the money tumika kujenga national school in Mandera, you're denying my son an opportunity to explore the country. Kwa hivyo, when we call out those people, bwana, si maneno na community. In fact, mimi nishadate hadi Msomali. Faiza.
Ndio hiyo, tumemaliza hiyo maneno ya tribe.
Choma.
Producer. Lazima nimalize episode ama I can walk out in the middle of the...
Anyway,
moving on swiftly.
Lazima tumeingia siasa and accountability and all that. The new class teacher for Orange. Kuna shida sana. There's a serious problem in Form 4 Orange.
Yes.
Na kwa sababu ni podcast, wale amjui Form 4 Orange, itawasaidia mjoin class. Form 4 Orange ni ODM part.
Yes.
Sasa kuanzia hapo mkisikia Form 4 yellow, green, mnaweza jijazia na class teacher.
You are sharp students, come on.
Yes. Watu wamekuwa wakisema wanataka accountability kwa Form 4 Orange. Kwa sababu wanasema hao wanapandishwa gari fulani, hawajui gari inaenda wapi, fare inalipwa how much.
Yes.
Hii gari wanapandishwa imenunuliwa aje?
Inavuta anavuta steering hii side. Anavuta steering hii side. School bus nikata ijapako rangi ya school bus.
Kwa hivyo wanajiuliza maswali mingi.
Yes.
And let us just start from that broader picture.
Yeah.
ODM post the former class teacher.
Yeah.
Baba. Do you still feel that aura?
For me, the aura had gone until the first person, of course, who spoke and inspired me earlier this year at the beginning of January was Sifuna during the late Jirongo's death. And I remember it was such an important, because it was one of the events that really started the politics.
Nasema
alidunga sindano mzuri kwa sababu alikuwa Mulembe Nation. And Mulembe Nation is trying to galvanize themselves. They're one of the biggest tribes in this country. The last time we saw Mulembe Nation really united as a community was Masinde Muliro. After Masinde Muliro ilikuwa kijana wa Malwa. After that hatujapata mtu mwingine. But there's a way Sifuna presented himself in that funeral as the SG of ODM. And also as a leader, national leader of Mulembe Nation and Kenya. Because as the SG of ODM, you are a national leader. And he sort of preempted and, presented himself as a presidential candidate, or so to say. Juu alisema hata mimi naweza tosha boga. There are specific people who speak in ODM. And me and the many young people that I know follow us and, do content around ODM, they feel inspired. For me, it's Edwin Sifuna. It's Winnie Odinga. It's Babu Wino. Caleb Hamisi akiongea pia unasema Kibagendi. Because Kibagendi is an ODM elected member of parliament. Juzi si ameshikwa akampeleka kisi. Muliona huo umati wa watu. When walikuwa hapo kwa police station kumchukua and they were here, they wanted to have him in remand for long, but that crowd was like kama atoki leo igusi ikaiki. So I feel the young Turks of ODM are coming out very strongly to fight for the spirit of ODM and the spirit of Baba more specifically. And I feel let me call them fossils. This name has to stick. The fossils of ODM are still clinging to that. And I feel so sad when I see them printing t-shirts na wameshatoa slogan. Ati tunalinda ground. Tunajua slogan ya ODM ni tuko tayari. Hizi ni nini zingine watu wameanza kufanya. So the young Turks are inspiring young people. I love how they are moving because they are not predictable. I even love how Winnie Odinga went to Kibra alone.
But speaking about young Turks, Kasmuel is also a young Turk.
Sasa Kasmuel
anataka kutoa nani?
Huyo hata Sifuna akikuwa SG alikuwa wapi? Alikuwa anapiga kufanya uso wake hivi.
But najaribu kusema yeye pia ni wakati wao.
Wakati wa nani?
Nimemuona. But
you guys don't think he can make a good ODM?
He can't make anything good.
It's just you would make a better SG for ODM than Kasamueli.
Shots fire.
Nakujia hiyo kiti.
Sasa wewe stick to kaskazini ngoja gigs. Wewe finya piano, subiri gigs. Chana nywele vizuri, hakikisha kipara haingii. Ikiingia kibia hataki.
Nasikia hapa jamaa mzee pia ni suti. Wewe tu basi.
Singili vita. Let me be the voice of reason. Kasamweli, go for it. You are a young man. You have a bright future ahead of you.
You know, Winnie Odinga has roared. And Winnie Odinga in her speech kept saying, Mesalimo na Babu Owino na Sifuna. And I love that she didn't need any of them to mobilize for her. She went alone. Went to a church where her late father used to go to. That was very sentimental. Fellowshipped and thanked them. Refused to talk politics inside that church. Alisema siongei hapa. Tunaenda kwa uwanja. Na akafika hapo. Na akatuma message 3. These are the 3 messages I received. Hawamtishi. She's not scared. She's aligning with the truthful voices of ODM, and she mentioned them, Babu Owino and Sifuna. And number 3, the party. Baba never whispered anything to these people.
Anaambia watu wake.
Hakuna hizo alishapeana mwelekeo. And they are not in broad-based government.
Kuna kitu umesahau Abi. You can't copy paste Baba.
Period.
And you iliguza baka niko tu like, hey, you can't.
And for me, the most saddest thing is that none of these leaders that are hitting at Winnie Odinga now, including that Kasamweli, would ever say the things they're saying about Winnie when Baba was alive. But sahi wako na gas.
Sahi wako na moshene na kimenyo na kimeshmbesh.
Because there's another school of thought. Yenye inasema, venye tu mnalinda Winnie Odinga, mbona mlinde Oburu? Kuna watu pia wanasema, ingekuwa Baba ni mzee kama Oburu. Na anaongea.
Kwa nini unaangalia ni hivi baya?
Inua mkono. Kwa nini wale wako nyuma?
Exactly. That's why I'm laughing.
Hiyo video imekuja.
Nilikumbusha nikiwa TP. Unajua ukiwa TP, ngoja still. Unajua ukiwa TP, wanafunzi huwa wanakudisrespect to some point. So baka inabidi umeenda umeita deputy. Deputy amekuja amewaambia, you know this is a teacher.
And I insist on him.
Winnie anataka kuja hapo. You know, he is a party leader. Inweni tu mkono guys.
But anyway, back to my point. Kwa nasema Baba angekuwa the same state Oburu yuko. Watu wanasema hawamtaki juu ana aura. Amezeeka. Hana aura. Watu nasema ingekuwa Baba ako in his olden days.
Angekuwa bado na aura. Angekuwa na aura. You anayetubisha. Baba angekuwa na aura. Baba bado angekuwa na aura.
And also, do you know the reason we are not resonating with Oburu, aka Fossil? It's not that because he's old.
Ukisema Fossil umemuita old.
In case you guys are confused, it's good to have the point.
Guy, mimi sijakuita usinilani. Mimi sijakuita mzee. Shauri zenyu. Nimejitoka yes.
One of the reasons we are not resonating with him because in a normal setup, when you lose a parent, your dad, a male figure, as important as your father, the first people that should be there protecting you, walking with you, asking you what do you need, is your uncle, the brother to your father.
Yes.
That takes
and the brother to your husband.
Yes, that takes the role of a father immediately in that homestead.
Yes.
It is very disappointing to see that the same man who should be sitting with these kids and the wife of the late Raila Amolo Odinga and having conversations with them is the same man running in a very different direction.
Running only hapa.
Hata haezi kimbia huyo. Crawling.
Hapo umebadu.
Sawa,
guys, taking sip water everyone, please.
Crawling in a different direction from them. We saw the deputy party leader, Osotsi. You know, this guy rarely speaks. I watched his whole press and he was saying there was a meeting Ida had called.
Yes.
Na alikuwa ameita Oburu, alikuwa atakuwa tu waongee before atoke na ma declarations. And Sifuna attended that meeting and other people attended. He knows because even him, he was called for that meeting, but he was in South Africa. He couldn't make it. Oburu didn't show up for that meeting.
Yeah, Oburu and and Junet.
Yes, they didn't show up. The next time they are seeing them is declarations. Bas. So that tells you something. Oburu is only interested in his own affairs. He has forgotten the very man who stood with him, even against his family.
Nakumbuka, you know me, I come from Siaya, and I know how Oburu alikuwa senator. We didn't want to make him senator, to be honest, but alikuwa senator.
Yeah. Baba aliangalia na akasema yenye
ina give zile family zenye watoto wamefiwa ni orphans kwa mazishi maango wanaongea ni tokorora shanaishi tutaangalia watoto tutahakikisha wamesoma and then after the burial now
anauza nyumba
will kwanza inageuzwa inakuwa yao nyumba inauzwa mnafukuzwa kwenyu mnakuwa street chills. It's sad.
And that's why Kenyans are like, so you can't do this because it could happen to any of us. And we have seen it happen in families, and so we are like, we will of course gravitate towards the victim.
No, but now you see, you've talked about Kenyans, and there are also Kenyans who believe that ODM is on the right path when it comes to history of broad-based government. Wanasema hakuna chama ilifomiwa, waangalie US, waangalie wapi. Hakuna chama hufomiwa ndio ikuwe nini? Ikuwe in the opposition. The primary goal of forming a political party is to get power. Is to form the government. Right?
Yes.
And so what tunasema, why are you guys victimizing ODM and its leaders for kutaka kupata the very power that they've been, as in imeandiko wapi ODM when it was registered, their slogan is not opposition for a lifetime.
True, yes.
Kuna watu wanasema hivyo.
Sema ODM opposition anyway. Oburu alituambia vile waliingia kwa serikali. Ulisikia akituambia?
Najua tuliingia kwa hii serikali kwa dirisha.
Alisema waliingia kwa serikali walinyoshilia. Kunyoshilia. Guys, kunyoshilia ni sheng ya kuswing. Waliswing na the wave ya Gen Z kuuliwa na kufinyiliwa na kuandamana wakaingililia back door, wakaingilia kwa dirisha. But in 2027 wanataka sasa waingililie kwa mlango. What does that tell you? Ndio maana hatutaki fossils.
And do you guys don't believe wanaweza ingilia mlango?
Wanaweza but kuna njia, kuna kuna mtaratara wa kuingia. And also Baba would never admit to these things. Baba used to say I have a broad-based agreement with this government to push the country forward because I needed to save the country. He never admitted ever that we entered through this and in the blood and we stepped on the blood. Unasema hivyo.
Na alisema baka Gen Z akasema ati Gen Z wakaanza wakawasukuma sana wakakufa.
I even cringed. I was like, who says such? I mean, that may be the reality, but you do not admit it as a perceived party leader. I will equate this to, ODM is the fossils is very funny. Kuna tali unataka kukatie. Unasali unacheza hard to get, si ndio?
Yes.
Unamwambia hata I'm not available for a date maybe next week. Or I'm not feeling I'm having cramps hivyo until finally mkaya hapo. But then unaingia hapo yenyewe hiyo marriage ita solidify because kuna venye umepanga.
Yes.
Hiyo ODM ya fossil imeshaingia kwa kitanda, imeshapanua miguu, imeshapeana vitu. Umeshapeana. Alafu unexpect.
Alafu anakuambia sasa tunaweza date.
Sasa unasema je sana katie.
Mbona katie. The grand place imeshaenda. And that's what Winnie was saying. People should talk their processes. We should be talking, we should be holding the NDC. People should be deciding who should go and negotiate. You guys have already gone and said tuko 2 term. Yani hata mumeshajipeana hata before muombo hata mujaombwa poa because after they said that is when akina Ishongwa and the UDA party akina Sisi Limbarira are now releasing a press statement and saying we are going to now sit and renegotiate again renegotiate with who they've already given themselves to just take them.
But do you guys think, because sasa venye sisi tunaongea, we hope that ODM itabaki moja to 2027 as they'll navigate this and find a way
they'll get past
to remain or stay united as a party as we approach 2027. But now, history sort of tends to repeat itself or rather rhymes. Because what's happening right now happened in 1994.
Yes.
When Jaramogi died.
Kai inaweza toka.
Do you guys remember what happened to Fort Kenya?
Tumesema mwaka gani?
Mwaka. Unakumbuka Miguna akiambianga Kingori. The only difference between you and me is that I read what happened before I was born.
Even in kujitoka conversations tumemention 1990.
Acheni kujifanya mlikuwa mmezalia 1994. Sikia sasa ati nisi anataka kusema ati I read what happened before I was born.
Unajua unaonanga sisi ni miaka yako.
Anyway. Unajua nikiguza mapua hivi saa hii.
Hata mimi nikijikuna hivi.
Anyway, 1994, Oginga Odinga dies. Ford Kenya. Kuna hiyo tussle ya succession between Wamalwa kijana and Raila Odinga. And I think that's what gives birth to Ford as
Yes.
and Ford nini. Yes, and so we might look at this as an isolated case. Kama kitu mpya sana. But now kitu najaribu kuleta history ni, the end result of that was Ford Asili and Ford
Kenya, yeah.
So then could we be looking at ODM asili? Because
ODM
ushasikia
Yes, tumesikia wamemention ODM asili.
ODM asili. And what's interesting is that ODM asili inataka kuformiwa from an ideological. See from, you know, when you hear amusikie ODM asili, utassume ni ya watu wenye walianzisha.
The original.
But now I think from what they mean ni the original idea ya kuform ODM. So there's now ODM asili and kunaweza kuwa na ODM whatever they'll decide to call it. Washa label as ODM washenzi.
Yes.
Ni Sifuna alisema hiyo.
It's true.
Mimi.
Kuna washenzi na kuna
Na president akasema wapumba.
Na president akawaita wapumbavu. Yo.
So my question is ODM 2027. ODM ijigawanye. Who loses?
Okay, ngojeni kabla tuendelee. Asili haya ngoja wakakosana, sio? Kijana na Rao wakakosana. Asili ilikuwa ya nani na Kenya ilikuwa ya nani?
Asili ilikuwa ya kijana wa Malwa.
Yes.
Kenya ikabaki na nani?
Na Rao. Yes. So gani ndio ilikuwa poa? Like nyinyi mlikuwa mna support, mlikuwa mna root for?
Mimi nilikuwa nimezaliwa 19 sisi tulikuwa tumefika age ya kuongea
But
tulikuwa high una get tulikuwa like tulikuwa tumetoka kwa tumbo za mama zetu. Wewe unajua hata huko umedecidewa kama unaformiwa.
Siki usiongee hivyo.
Watu hata wako wamepatana.
Occupy guys, occupy abizwen.
Yule watu hao wako wamepatana hata kwa wameingia kitandani.
Kai bro mamangu ataona issue. Wallahi aje.
Hata
heshimu fossils wa hii round table.
ODM ikigawana side. Who becomes the biggest loser? Because kuna watu nasema it's ODM itself. Kuna watu nasema ni wananchi because now hakutakuwa na a voice because the reason watu sana wataki ODM ijiunganishe na UDA ni kwa sababu ina lose its identity ya kuongea for the people. Of course kuna watu nasema it's our turn to eat. Ni wakati yetu sisi tuko ndani ya serikali. Na kwa sababu tuko ndani ya serikali kwa sababu hata sisi tukule. Kuna two schools of thought. But then the big question is who loses? Is it ODM as a party? Is it the leaders who are clinging on to the old ideologies of opposition? Is it the leaders who wanataka kukula kwa sasa kwa sababu wako kwa serikali? Ama is it President William Ruto?
So everyone loses to a certain dynamic.
Yes.
Kila mtu hapo atapoteza if ODM today goes it's in shambles.
Yes, it's already in shambles.
But if it extends mpaka hapo pa kugawanyika, everyone loses to a certain aspect because mkiwa tu hivi pamoja, the moment ODM was ODM, Kenyans were gaining.
It's still ODM.
Kenyans were gaining.
Yes.
The leaders themselves hata hiyo inaitwaje, achana na the aura part of it na hata the monetary value attached to it, but tu yo kujua you are standing for what is right inapeaga mtu a certain confidence, so the leaders were also gaining. Unaona una get na bado wakiingia kwa hizo coalition the government was also gaining. So if ODM ikifaragabashana today, everyone will lose. Hakuna chati ni hawa peke yao wataluza bana, everyone.
Me I feel that needs to happen so that the people of Kenya can win. Yes. This is my thought. I feel they need to separate so that the true patriots of ODM can drive this party to what it deserves to be and take it to the new dawn age of politics in Kenya. ODM cannot survive when there's a tussle between these guys that want to, join efforts with the government that shed blood. And there's people that see all the wrong things that are being done by this government. Starting with this government not respecting the 10-point agenda that Baba himself aliweka sahihi. These two factions cannot exist together.
Do you therefore think kunafaa kwena NDC? Ama what do you think it will take for this to happen?
That NDC needs to happen because what will happen is interest in both sides. Because names are being mentioned. People are saying side ya Mama Aida na Winnie iko na godfather wao. Yes. Wanasema hii side ya kina Oburu iko na godfather wao. So it needs to happen.
Ndio so godfather
waheshimiane na kila mtu achukue faction yake. Then let us see who the people wanataka. Because who the people align with
win.
They
win.
Non-negotiable.
And it's actually what have I've always said when it comes to the succession conversation, yes, you kingpin, I've always said that there's no single kingpin in Kenya mwenye alikuja akasema sasa mimi ndio kingpin wenu.
Yes.
Ama viongozi walikuja wakasema huyu ndio kingpin wenu. They first made themselves a kingpin.
Yes.
Among the people. Hata hujue watu sema wao alizaliwa kwa Serelak.
Watu wanakuchaguanga.
Exactly my point. And so just like you when tunasema that NDC and I can't wait. I feel like that NDC needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
If Men in Black will happen, it happen. Kama magari itavunjwa,
watu wavurugane, wacha tuone.
So that we know the future.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's the people. I don't think it's the people who lose, and this is my reasoning. Life itself and the universe can never allow a vacuum to exist.
Yes, it can't exist. Oh.
You see? So hata venye watu wanasema ati ODM ikikufa nani atakuwa anaongelea wananchi? Someone will come.
They will come.
And something will come.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because in the 80s it was Ford. Ford.
Yes.
Ikakuja namna hii ikakuwa NDP. Namna hii ikakuwa ODM.
Yes.
And yeah, sasa kuna Form 1 green naona inapanda sana.
Yeah. I say let it happen.
Yes.
Let the teams separate if they need to separate. Let people align with whoever they feel reflects their values ahead of the 2027 election. And I feel this is the best thing that will happen in the country and that will spearhead the removal of this regime.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Thanks for watching, guys. Imekuwa an amazing conversation. Can't wait to see you on the next one. But for now, remember, bonyeza kengele, subscribe, fanya nini? Turn on notifications, and appear, follow us on our socials, zote men, at the Round Table. On all socials. So see you on the next one.